Balance Yoga. I'm your host, Valerie Anderson, and today I'm going 101 on you. If you have never tried a yoga class in your life, congratulations for making it here. What better place to do it than in the sacred space of your home, the privacy of your home. It can be unnerving trying your first class in front of other people, with other people. You get a little conscious about who's looking at me, who's watching, and oh my gosh, they put their leg over there and I can't even get my leg here, and don't worry about any of that. You're in your private space at your house, so welcome. If you have been to some classes, you have some experience, great, welcome as well. Feel free to take any variations, any fuller expressions of any poses that I give to you. I will be going a little bit slower and breaking down a lot more of the moves than typical. So maybe you're looking for a little bit of that too today. Great. I have some tools, some props at my disposal. Traditionally, strap looks like this, and you can create a loop with it. This is really helpful if you can't reach your foot with your hand during certain parts of yoga, or if you can't reach your leg. It's also good for shoulders and those kinds of things. Gives you just a little bit of extension. Blocks are nice, so if you can grab a pair, the biggest benefit is that they are completely uniform, meaning whatever size that you pick, they're going to be exactly the same height as you need on the left and the right side. So if you get a chance, cork or foam or any density, totally up to you. If you don't have these things, I have modifications for you. Grab a scarf, grab a belt, whatever you have in your house. A towel will even work as well. You can leave it open, or you can tie a knot at the end to close it if you want. I'm going to leave mine open, and you'll just put the foot or the heel of the toe or wherever you need into the closed part, and then obviously grab it with your hand, and we'll do a little bit of that today. My other props, I have 2 stacks of books I'm going to be using instead of my blocks to show you engagement with the floor. If you bend over forward and you can't reach the floor, it's okay if you want to let yourself just hang there and have gravity do its job in supporting you towards your goal of reaching the floor. You can also grab some books, or if you have the blocks, using them allows you to engage and press back against the floor and root down with it. And that has a lot of benefits for your core, for your shoulders, and also for your hamstrings and legs as well. So option for you to use them or not. I suggest trying them, and you might feel an increased difference in just hanging and then also just using your hands on the blocks, and you might like one or the other. 2 more things, pillows. This is probably a really good size, and you can use it underneath your back, you can use it underneath your knees. I'll show you a couple different ways. I grabbed 2, and then a blanket, of course, which is nice for a variety of things, and I will show you how you can use those. So put those off to the side, not too far away, and I'll let you know when you can grab them for whatever you need. I'm actually going to leave my books here because I will be using them with forward folds, so maybe leave them at the front of your mat for now. We're going to go ahead and start. Find yourself in an easy seat, Sukhasana. That can mean a legs crossed either way, stacked on top of each other, whichever feels comfortable for you. You can take a pillow and bring your knees up on either side. That can alleviate some stress in the hips. If you want, take your blanket, sit on it so just the hips are on the edge of the blanket. That way it elevates your hips up over your knees, and it makes it a little bit more comfortable and bearable to sit in this position while we do our breath work. I'm going to leave the blanket here. So come to that easy seat. relax a little bit. Start engaging the breath. Noticing how it enters the body, how it leaves the body. Maybe noticing what spaces it fills first, your belly or your chest. Does it fill both? Letting it rise and fall at its own pace. Empty the belly completely, all the way to the last drop of air, and then take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. Inhale through the nose. Try exhaling through the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Wonderful. If you're not familiar with Ujjayi breath, I'm going to introduce it now. If it's challenging and you want to leave it out of your practice, that's perfectly fine. If you want to try to incorporate it, I'll remind you throughout so you can try to get back to it. I often forget myself as I'm practicing to continue with it. And at certain points I realize I'm not breathing anymore, or I'm not using my Ujjayi breath. And I throw it back in and retouch with that foundational support. So don't stress if you forget about it. I'll remind you, and you can put it in or you can leave it out. It's entirely up to you. Take your hand in front of you like a mirror and pretend you just took a really hot, steamy shower. The mirror's all fogged up. Try emulating that fogging with your hand like it is a mirror. So inhale through the nose, open the mouth, and fog that mirror. Inhale through the nose, open the mouth, fog that mirror. Now try to fog the mirror, but halfway through the exhale, close your mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. You'll notice when you close your mouth that there is this light constriction in the back of your throat. Even when your mouth is open, that light constriction is there. It's forcing air out of your mouth at a higher rate. It's also making a smaller space so the air is able to heat up, and it interacts with the lining of your throat as well to pull some of that heat and energy and push it out onto the hand, which is what causes you to fog up your imaginary mirror. So take that light constriction in the back of your throat. On our inhales and exhales, we're going to keep our mouth closed and just breathe through the nose. It should have kind of a light oceanic sound. Mine is a little exaggerated because I want you to be able to hear it on camera, so if yours is quiet, don't worry about it. A lot of people have quiet breaths. Here we go. You can put your hand down. Exhale all the air from your body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Feel free to close your eyes. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. I'm going to begin counting. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold to the top. 1, 2. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the bottom. 1, 2. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. 1, 2. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the bottom. 1, 2. Inhale. Use your own counts if you prefer. If you want to go slower or if you want to go faster, entirely up to you. If you want to keep the inhales and the exhales even, that's fine. I encourage you to explore trying to elongate your exhale for as long as you can, all the way down to the bottom, just before your body asks you to inhale once again. Try 5 breaths at your own pace, incorporating that ujjayi, keeping that light constriction in the back of your throat on your inhales and your exhales. Beautiful. You might start to feel some heat generating in your body, and that's what the ujjayi, one of the pieces of its benefits is, to start warming the body before you actually start moving as well. Keep the blanket if you want. Maybe you want to switch your cross out for your Sukhasana, your nice easy seat. We're going to begin light stretching, a nice elongated warm up. So you want to set your shoulders back a little, elongate through the spine. Take your left hand and place it on your low back, and then inhale, take your right ear over to your right shoulder, exhale. You should feel a nice stretch in this side body of the neck, maybe to the tip of your shoulder. You want to take the hand to the head, a gentle pull. And then inhale, come back to center. Switch it over to the other side. So right hand comes behind to the low back. Inhale and exhale, left ear comes to left shoulder. Nice release on the left side and the right side of the neck. Right hand can come, left hand can come to the head, gentle tug. And then inhale, come back to center. Shrug rolls. On your inhales, take your shoulders up, close to the ears. Exhale, roll them down. Doesn't matter which direction you go in. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down, and then switch the direction of your roll. Inhale, come on back up, and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, and then exhale, come on back down. Sweeping of the arms, you're just taking them in a nice wide circle. You want more support, stay in contact with the floor. Reach the left arm up and right arm over, and then keep on rolling. Just warming into all the parts of the side bodies and the back. And then switch your directions. You can take this as fast or slow or as wide. Always having a hand in contact with the floor if you want some more support. And then come on back to center. Light twist, right hand comes behind the right hip, left hand comes to the knee. Inhale, turn gently towards the side. Inhale, lift the chest, twist from the torso on your exhale, look over that right shoulder. One or two breaths here, find a little bit more room in that twist on each exhale. Inhale, come on back to center, switch to the other side, left hand comes to the left hip, right hand comes to the right knee. Inhale, expand the chest, look over towards the side. Inhale, rise the chest, and exhale, look over that right shoulder. You want to try to twist more from the torso than from the hips. And on each exhale, try to find a little bit more room in that gentle twist. Inhale, come on back to center. Remove your blanket off to the side. You'll need it later, most likely. From here, coming into a tabletop. Don't worry about your form just yet. I just want you to take some deep hips, deep circle hips, any direction that you want to start. Just move around, and if you find a little hitch in your giddy up, maybe you stop and kind of work on that spot, dig in a little bit. Roll over your shoulders and your wrists, warming them up as well, and then switch directions. Go as big and as wide and as deep around as you want. No real form here. Careful with the knees. Everything feels comfortable. And then bring it on back to your tabletop. Here in your tabletop, shoulders, wrists, elbows should be aligned, and then the inside of your elbow should be shining forward. That helps to open up the shoulders so that you don't collapse down into your chest. So keep the elbow forward, keep your chest shining forward, and then your hips should be over your knees. I'm always surprised at how small my box feels, but you want to make sure that alignment is nice and solid. All right, tabletop, going for cat-cow. On your cow, untuck the tailbone, drop the belly, inhale, fill it, and your gaze is upward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, arch the back, press into the shoulders. Inhale, send the tailbone up to the sky, drop the belly, heart shines forward, gaze up. Exhale, arch through the back like a cat, pressing deep into the floor. Inhale, fill the belly again. Gaze is upward. Chest is open. And exhale, arch the back. Tuck that tailbone. A couple of rounds of these at your own pace. When we're compressing the body, we're exhaling the air out. And when we open the body, especially the belly and the chest, we want to fill it on an inhale. Come on back to a neutral spine. Take the left leg out. Pretend that there's a wall behind you and that you're pressing that back heel into a wall, and then start to rock a little bit. Getting into that left calf muscle, warming the hip a little bit. Try to keep the hips even, left to right and front to back. Great. Drop the knee down. Open the legs wide for a child's pose. Toes come together, send the hips back, walk the hands forward. Forehead comes to the mat. At any point you can come to this sacred space, your child's pose. It's here for you to catch your breath. It's here for you to check in with your mind. And you can take it anytime, literally anytime during this practice. up to your tabletop. Check in with your alignment. Send that left foot back again, pressing against that imaginary wall. Two options here. You can keep both hands firmly planted down on the ground using the inside of your hand, the four corners. You should feel your whole palm press nice and deeply into the floor. And on your inhales and exhales, you'll take your knee towards your chin. If you would like, you can also incorporate the right arm up. Here we go. Inhale, lift the left leg. Option to lift the right arm as well. Exhale, knee and elbow to chin. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, elbow, knee to chin. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, elbow, knee, chin. Inhale, rise up one more round. Exhale, elbow, knee to chin. And then inhale, rise it back up. And set everything back down. Child's pose, knees go wide. Sit back, arms stretched forward. Forehead to mat. Back up to your tabletop. Send that right foot back towards that imaginary wall with your heel, taking some light rocks. Nice. From here, option to keep both hands down or to send the left up for your light core. Inhale, lift the right leg, left arm if you wish. Exhale, elbow, knee to chin. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, elbow, knee to chin. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, elbow, knee to chin. Inhale, rise up. One more round. Inhale, tuck it in. And, inhale, rise up. Plant the hands. One more child's pose, knees wide. Bottom to heels, and then reach on forward. This is real yoga. I don't edit that much, barely at all, for time's sake, so I will get left and rights mixed up, and I might even get inhales and exhales mixed up. So, come back up to your tabletop. Let's forget any of that happened. From your tabletop, take the left leg out wide and walk your hands back towards your knee and then up to your hips. I'm going to turn slightly for you. Foot should be out in line with your knee. Gate pose. Inhale, right arm comes up and lean over towards that left side. The left arm can creep down onto the leg for a little bit of support, just not on top of the knee. Should be feeling it on the inner side of your thigh, as well as the side body. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Inhale, left arm reaches up, and just a slight bend to the opposite side, briefly. Inhale, back to center. Hands come down to the floor. Drop the bottom towards the heel. You can make it down, and this feels comfortable. You can also reach your hands and walk them forward. If you're able, drop your forehead towards the ground. Walk the hands back up towards the body. Lift on up. Bring that knee in and that foot. Hands come back down, take it over to the other side. Walk the hands back towards the body, come on up. Foot should be in line with the knee. Inhale, left arm reaches up. And lean over to the right side, using that right arm as support, just not pressing into that knee. And again, that nice inner thigh stretch, that left side body stretch. Working all the sides of the hips today. Inhale, come on back up. Briefly, the other side. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, lean on over. Inhale, come on up. Plant the hands, take the bottom towards the heel. If this is comfortable, you can walk your hands forward again. And the forehead can come towards the floor. Walk the hands back. Press on back up from your gate pose. I'm going to turn back over. Tabletop. Check your alignment. Tuck your toes, and on your inhale, I just want you to lift the knees. Pressing the hands, all four corners of the hands into the floor, elbows shine forward, core is engaged, and then drop them back down. Another round. Press into the floor, engage the core, lift the knees. Elbows should be shining forward. You should feel it in the belly. And then exhale, bring them back down to the floor. This time, we're going to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the knees, lift the hips, roll on back through your first downward facing dog. You might need to adjust. All four corners of the hands should be firmly planted into the ground. The skin between the pointer and the thumb should be engaged in contact with the floor. Elbows are shining forward. Your shoulders are not collapsing inward. You're rotating them outward, out towards the sides. Head should be relaxed. Bend into the knees, walk it out. If your heels don't touch, if this is you, then that's where you are today. You can even bend into the knees, dip deeper into those shoulders, bob maybe. And then when you're pressed deeper, try to straighten those legs out and set those heels back towards the ground. You shouldn't be able to see your heels, so if you do, then you need to turn your feet inward or outward just a little bit more so you can't see them. And your feet should also be about 2, maybe a little bit more fist distance apart. Child's pose, roll over, open the knees, toes come together, bottom towards heels, stretch forward with the hands, forehead comes to the floor. Believe it or not, downward facing dog is also known as a restorative resting pose. Doesn't feel like rest to you, it will someday, I promise. Inhale back up to the tabletop, tuck the toes, press back for your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift to the toes, bend to the knees, and then walk one step at a time, feet towards the hands, knees bent, till they come up to the front of the mat, and then open the feet wide, about hips width distance apart. Taking a ragdoll, you should have a slight bend in your knees, maybe an exaggerated bend in the knees, whatever feels good to you. If you can't reach the floor, here's where those books come in handy. Rest your hands on it if that feels more confident for you. And then you just sway a little bit. Might even try to let gravity do a little bit of work, tuck the elbows in, sway side to side. Maybe try straightening the knees, not locking them out, but straightening them. And pressing the weight more towards the front, the ball of your foot, than the heel. Or at least even if possible. Wonderful. Inhale and lift the spine. One vertebrae at a time. Roll on up. Nice and slow to a full standing position. Wonderful. Coming into Tadasana. Lift the toes, spread them, set them down. Engage the legs, lift the kneecaps by squeezing the quads. Find a neutral point in your pelvic so that you're setting the tailbone up and high with an arch and that you're not so tucked that you feel your core engaged too much. So find that neutral place. You will have a slight bow in that lower back, don't worry. Lower ribs tuck in, shoulders come wide, hands come down to the sides, long through the neck, shine through the top of the head. Our first sun salutation. Inhale, rise the arms up to the sky, pinkies come in, soften the shoulders down. Exhale, hinge from the hips, full forward, fold down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bend to the knees, plant the hands, step back, right foot, left foot to plank, option to bring the knees down. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Bhujangasana, Cobra. Take the hands to the lower part of the ribs, keep the elbows tucked in. Top of the feet and the pelvic will press into the floor, and as you inhale, lift with the back, less push with the hands. Exhale, come down to the floor. Again, press into the tops of the feet and the pelvic, lift with the back, and exhale, come down to the floor. One more round. Inhale, pressing into the floor, lifting with the back and core muscles. Try to lift your hands if you want, and then exhale, lower down. Press up into your tabletop, tuck the toes, send your hips back for downward facing dog. 1 or 2 easy breaths here. Inhale, lift to the toes, bend into the knees, walk the feet towards the hands. Inhale, halfway lift with a mostly flat back. Exhale, full forward, fold down. Inhale, rise the arms up to the sky, pinkies turn in. Exhale, hands come to your heart center. Another round. Inhale, rise the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, full forward, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift, pressing into the floor or your props. Exhale, bend to the knees, plant the hands, left foot steps back, then the right, high plank, come to your knees if you want. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Wonderful. Shalabhasana. You can also use the support of your hands and do another round of Cobra if you'd like. We're going for Locust, Shalabhasana. Same idea, top of the feet and the pelvic press into the floor, arms come out forward this time. Inhale, lift with the arms. And exhale, lower down. If you'd like to lift the feet as well, you are welcome to. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift one more time, your deepest bend, your highest rise, and exhale, lower down. Hands come back towards the sides, up to your tabletop, tuck the toes for your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. One or two breaths here. Check in with your alignment. Hands are engaged with the floor. Your feet aren't too far apart, too close. Can't see your ankles. Inhale, rise to the toes, bend into the knees, walk the feet towards the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full forward, fold down, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, soften the shoulders, and exhale, your hands come to the heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, rise the arms up to the sky. Exhale, full forward, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift, shine the heart forward. Exhale, bend to the knees, plant hands, step back with the right foot, and then drop the right knee down, untuck the toes. Hands come to the knee, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. From here, Check in with your pelvic. We tend to want to over rotate it, and then our belly drops onto that thigh, and we're not doing all the work that we can. So you might want to take your hands to your hips, the front and the back, and try to tuck the tailbone slightly so that you really elongate through the spine. And then you can lean into that side hip. You can lean into the front of that hip, that right hip, opening that psoas up. It's okay if your knee goes in front of your ankle. Try not to let it splay in or out. You can rise the arms up if you want. Beautiful. And then press the hands into the knee, tuck the toe, rise on up for high lunge Asha Chandrasana. Your hands can come to your heart center. They can rise up. Pretend that wall is pressed behind you again with the heel. This time the knee is over the ankle. Nice elongated spine. And the arms can be up or heart center. Exhale, hands to knee, lower down, plant into the ground, untuck the toe, and then sit your bottom back towards that heel. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Again, those blocks can come in handy here. Engage that foot. Don't let it just point forward. A good thing to try is to point the foot and then lift the toes. Kind of reminds me of a Barbie heel, Barbie foot. And then inhale, lift. Exhale, maybe fold a little bit further into that front leg. And then roll back over, coming into that low lunge. Plant the right hand down. Again, blocks are super handy. Take the shoulder, the left shoulder, open it up, and the right foot is going to come towards your body. If you can't reach your foot to open up into that front body of the right hip, you can't reach this. This is where the scarf, whatever you need, can come in handy. And you can wrap it around, and then it just gives you a little bit more room to pull, okay? That's why it's nice to have that loop on it. It's okay if your knee splays out a little bit here. You're pretty secure where you are. And then release. Block aside. Tuck the toe. And then step back for a plank. Try to stay in that plank. Elbows stay tucked in, and then lower all the way down to the ground. Coming into that cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Tabletop, downward facing dog. Come back to your plank, drop to your knees, and then the right foot steps forward. Untuck that back toe, hands come to the knee. Again, engage that core to elongate through the spine. Don't let your belly dump onto your hip. And feel that nice stretch in that left hip now, that left side body. Nice, beautiful stretch. You can also rise the arms up if you'd like. And then exhale, your hands come down to your knee again. Tuck those back toes. Lift on up for a high lunge. Inhale, rise the arm up. You can also have them at heart center. Knee should be tracking over your ankle. Beautiful. Hands come down to the knee, lower back down, untuck those toes. Hands come to the side of the foot, and then send those hips back towards that back heel for your Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits on the other side. Blocks come in handy again. Engage that foot. Should feel a nice stretch in that hamstring on the right side. Inhale, and then exhale, fold a little bit deeper into it. Inhale, roll back over. Plant the hands, tuck the toe, lift the back knee, send the right back to meet. Option to stay high plank or drop to the knees. Keep the elbows tucked in and lower all the way down. Inhale, rise up, Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll over to your downward facing dog. 1 or 2 breaths here. Inhale, rise into the toes, bend to the knees, and walk on forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full forward, fold down. Inhale, rise the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and exhale, hands come to the heart center. Beautiful. Engage the right foot with the floor, so lift the toes, set them back down, spread through all 4 corners. Left foot comes up to a kickstand. Keep your balance, stare at something on the wall that doesn't move. And then send that left foot back, bend to that front knee. Just try to step back as far as you can. Maybe that's here and then you wiggle back. Maybe you can step all the way back. Open up to Warrior 2. Back foot is even with the mat. Heel to inner arch alignment. Knee is tracking over the ankle, and your chest should be towards the side. Then rise your arms up and take your gaze over to the right, over that front hand. That opens up the shoulders. Inhale, flip the front hand and lean back. Left hand can come to the leg for a little bit of support. Be careful of the knee. Exhale, right forearm comes down to your knee. Left arm sweeps forward and up, pinky down. Beautiful. Option to take that left arm, which you shouldn't be dumping all your weight into, have some integrity in your core, and squeeze your legs together to support as you lift that right arm up. Kind of like you're holding a beach ball. Set that arm back down. Inhale, come back up to your Warrior 2. Reverse it again. Inhale, flip that hand. Reach on back. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Wide-legged forward fold. Start walking the hands towards the left and around towards that back foot, turning that front foot parallel. Toes can even be turned in slightly. Again, if you want to reach for your blocks, these come in handy. Inhale with a flat back, and then exhale, fold down. As far as your body allows you to go today. You might want to experiment with taking your feet in more or taking your feet out more, keeping the outer edge parallel with the mat. And then just bend down as far as you want to go. You can even take your hands back behind you, reaching. Bring them back to center. Blocks off to the side. Walk your hands back towards the front, turning on your feet and heels. Press into those hands. Send that right foot back to a plank and then straight back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, hips stay square, right leg reaches towards the sky, and then on your exhale, tuck it nice and deep and try to see how far you can step forward. As close as you can to your hands, wiggle your foot forward. Beautiful. And then take the left foot and just creep it on forward to a nice forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full forward fold down. Inhale, rise the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Switching it over to the other side. Lift the left toes, set them down, spread through your whole foot. Engage the weight and the balance in that left side. Stare at any point on the wall that's going to help you keep your balance, something that doesn't move. Kicks down the right leg. Lift it. And then send it back as you bend into that front leg. Go back as far as you can go. You might need to take a couple of steps. That's okay. Windmill open to your Warrior 2 on the other side. Remembering the outer edge of your back foot is even with the mat. foot to arch alignment, knee is over the ankle, turn the shoulders towards the side, and then open up and look over that left hand. Inhale, flip the hand, reach over the body, using that right arm as a kickstand if you want. Exhale, right forearm comes to the left knee, left forearm comes to the left knee. Sweep that hand forward and up, pinkies down. Don't dump into the belly, have some integrity, squeeze the feet and legs towards each other to keep that weight off that front arm. Beach ball if you want, or keep it down. Set it back down, inhale back up to your warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, send it back for a reverse, and then exhale, windmill the hands down. Same idea, walk the hands over. I'm gonna flip around. Walk the hands over to a wide-legged fold. Maybe you need your blocks again in that fold. Maybe you want to try without the blocks, see how deep you can go. Reaching back, or not. Try reaching towards the ankles. Keeping the weight even in the foot or towards the front of the foot, where the ball and the toes are. Walk the hands back to center. Left palm comes to center. Inhale, right arm up comes to the sky with a nice twist. Exhale, switch the hands. Inhale, left arm comes up to the sky with a nice twist. And exhale, comes back to center. Bend into that, would be your left knee. Bend to that left knee, walk the hands over. Come back to the front of your mat. Plant the hands firmly down. Set the left foot back. Plank, try to stay high or drop to your knees, lower down all the way to the ground. Inhale, a quick Shalabhasana or Cobra, Bhujangasana, whatever you'd like to do. Exhale, roll over onto your knees, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Beautiful. One or two nice breaths here. Keeping the hips square, inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, tuck it nice and deep, knee towards nose, set it forward as far as you can. Walk it forward, and then bring the back foot to meet the front however you'd like. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full forward fold down. Inhale, rise the arms up to the sky, and then exhale, your hands come to your heart center. There are one or two ways that you can get to the floor. You can try rising up onto your toes as high as you can go and then lowering down, or you can just keep your heels planted and lower down as well. Inhale, rise up or keep the heels down, and then exhale, lower down, bend to the knees. I like to take my arms out, helps counter the balance a little bit, and then send your bottom down to the ground as far as you can get. If you don't get all the way to the ground, then just step down however you want to get there. I'm going to face you instead of towards the front of my mat. We're going to try either Gomukhasana legs or half Matsyasana, half fish. Matsyasana, take the left heel towards the right hip, and then the right leg just crosses over, and the right foot is planted on the ground. This would be half fish, half Lord of the Fish. If you want to try a deeper expression in your hips, so this is more than enough for you, stay here. A little bit deeper of an expression would be to also take that side of the foot parallel, touching the mat. Point the toes towards one another to keep an engagement in the knee. It just helps protect the knee. And then the knees want to stack over one another as much as they can. Even further expression would be to try to take the heels away from the hips. Totally up to you. You have a couple of options there. You can even take a slight twist. Left hand comes to the right hip, and then you lean over that shoulder, that right back shoulder. And then come on back to center. That left heel can stay with your right hip. Take that right leg and cradle it like a baby. So foot can come to the wrist, foot can come to the inside of the elbow, wherever you can get it. Stay engaged with the foot so that you protect that knee, and then you can just rock a little bit. If it feels better to have your hand tucked under in the front of the shin, that's fine. You can also bring it around the side. You might even be here. You want to try to lean back a little bit too. And engage a totally separate set of muscles in your core and in your leg, and then lean back forward. Go ahead and set that down, and then we're going to switch the feet over to the other side. So left heel comes to the, right heel comes to the left hip, and then the left leg crosses over. Coming into half fish, or if you want to go full Gomukhasana, the outside of that left foot will come to the mat as well, and then the heels should try to be stacked over one another. Keep engagement in your feet to protect the knees, and the heels can come away. It makes it even deeper. Either way, take that right hand to the left knee, and then lean on over, looking over that left shoulder if you can. It's okay to pull a little bit with that front hand too. Both of these stretches should give you a nice elongation in the sides of the hips, on the outer side of the hip. And then go ahead and come back to center. Wonderful. Set the feet forward in front of you. We're going to reverse that stand. From here, you might need to rock a little bit, get up over those feet, hands can come out in front of you or to heart center, toes, tippy toes or not, and then just rise on back up. If you wiggle, if you wobble, if you fall, doesn't matter. Find yourself in a nice standing position. Standing figure four. It's easiest to use a wall for this. If you don't have a wall that's close to you or usable at the moment, then you can also grab a chair. I'm going to use this wall behind me. Engage with the right foot. Again, lifting the toes, spreading them, setting them down. And don't lock the knee out. Give it a slight micro bend, but not a deep bend. Kickstand that foot. You can option to use the wall if you want. You might want to try to get away from the wall as you do this. Try to test your balance a little bit. Find a point in front of you that you can stare at. And then start kickstanding that leg. Left ankle comes over the knee. And then open up that left hip. So it actually looks like a nice figure four. If this is where you are and you want to try to balance away from the wall, that's fine. Hands can even try to come to heart center. You can also deepen this expression by bending into that right leg, lowering down as if you're trying to sit into a chair, and go as far as you can go with your hips. That might be forearms to the knee, keeping that toe bent to protect the knee. You might even be able to reach further towards the floor, plant your hands down. A nice deep good stretch. If you make it here, lock that toe around the outside of that right arm and engage it with the arm, pressing into one another, and you'll feel a really extensive stretch on that outer side. Reverse your way out of it. Come on back up to a standing with or without the wall, and then set it down, give it a little wiggle. And then we're going to switch. So I'm going to turn. Left leg comes engaged, lift the toes, spread them wide, connect the whole foot, all sides of it with the floor. Hands heart center or the wall or a chair. Start kickstanding, finding that spot on the wall, something that doesn't move. Right heel comes over onto the left knee, opening up that hip, creating that nice figure four. Don't lock your knee out. With or without the wall, you can try to bend into that left standing leg all the way down. Maybe your arms come to the top of your shin. Maybe they go all the way to the floor. I'm a little bit tighter on this side in that right hip. Everyone's different. And then engage that left foot with that left arm. Excuse me, engage the right foot with the left arm. Nice deep stretch. I'm feeling this, you guys. And then reverse on out. Try not to use the whoa. And set the foot back down. Give it a wiggle. One more time. Tippy toes or not. Hands heart center or extended out. Lower all the way down to the ground. And then bring your bottom to the floor, however you can get there. Cross the feet. Roll over onto the knees. Take them wide, toes together. Child's pose. Another variation for child's pose is to bring your knees together and your chest over onto your knees, forehead down, and then your arms reach back, palms come up. Just another variation. Stay as long as you wish. Pausing the video if you'd like. And then when you're ready, calling back up. Cross the heels, rolling over to an easy seated Sukhasana. I'm going to face you again. Fire log. Left foot is going to be the one on bottom, keeping that engagement in the toes. Remember that Barbie toe that I showed you earlier, that will protect your knee, and then the right comes over the top. So right ankle onto the right knee. This might be you today. Those pillows can come in handy. You can rest on them. Just gives you a little bit more ease in the hips. And then pillows are obviously soft, so you can press down into your knees in a safe way. Getting a little bit deeper into that stretch. If you're not using pillows, try to get both of your calves even with one another, stacked right on top of one another. Pressing down into that right foot. Can't stress enough keeping those toes engaged and flexed so that you protect the knee. Come on out and switch. So right ankle comes down, left ankle comes over to the right knee. You may or may not be using pillows. Try to keep the calf muscles aligned, parallel, stacked on top of each other like fire logs. And then press into that left hip. Just try to open it up a little bit deeper. Beautiful. Butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Feet touch and open them up like a book. Your heels can be as close or as far from your pelvic as you need them to be. Pillows again would be handy to keep the knees up, or you can let gravity do its job and send them down. Grab onto the heels. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, give a slight forward fold with an elongated back, straight back, flat back. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, roll and arch the back. Forehead should come towards the feet. Inhale, rise on up. Send the legs straight out in front of you. Helps sometimes to kind of remove all the meat and tissue that we're sitting on. feeling those sit bones really ground with the earth. Lift the toes and then let them set back towards you, towards your body. Inhale, rise the arms up. Exhale, flat back, fold over. If you can't engage your feet and you want to, here's where a strap might come in handy again. Pulling, pulling, pulling. Lifting through the chest. Inhale, rise up, and then exhale, full forward, fold down, roll, and your forehead should try to come to your calves. Inhale, rise up. Strap comes off to the side. Bend your knees towards your chest. Take your hands behind your knees. Inhale, lift and pull the chest open and try to rise the feet up. Maybe a little bit, maybe a lot of it. Maybe you let go and extend the feet out. And slowly let your body drop. Try to let your legs and your torso drop at the same time. It's challenging for me too, don't worry. Coming to a full lying down pose. Grab your strap if it's not nearby you. Mine wasn't. Let me grab it. Bend to that right foot. Strap comes over the front ball of your foot, not the arch, but the front ball. And extend that right leg, grabbing on to your strap. Left leg should be engaged and your toes should also be flexed. Heel pressing down towards the earth. And slowly work your way up that strap. Releasing into that hamstring. A slight micro bend in the knee might feel good. Take that left hand over to the left thigh. Toes will turn slightly outward, rotating the hip just a little bit. And on your next exhale, lower that foot down as far as you can go towards the floor without rising that left hip. If you start to go over and your hip starts to rise, that's too far. Just let it drop. You can even press into that hip a little bit. Inhale, come back up. Switch hands. Right hand comes to right hip. Take your thumb and tuck it into the hip and push it away from your head. Exhale, take the left foot over towards, the right foot over towards the left side. Inhale, come on back up. Bend into that knee. Undo the strap. Set it down. Feel the difference for a moment. You might feel a little bit more elongation in that right leg now. Engage that foot. Toes come up towards the head and the heels press into the ground. Left leg comes up. Bend the knee. Find the strap bind. It should go over the front of the foot, not the arch. And then wiggle your hands up as far as they will go. Letting that left leg release. Left hand to strap, right hand to right hip. Toes slightly outward, rotating that hip, and then exhale, lower down. Just as far as you can go without that right hip popping up. That right hip starts to come off the ground. That's where you stop just before that. Inhale, come back to center, switch the hands.
Left thumb comes to the left nook and pushes your hip towards your feet, away from your head, and then exhale. Try to take that left foot over towards the right side. Inhale, bring it back to center. Bend into that knee, release the strap. Set it on off towards the side. Bend into the knees, bring them towards your body. Right ankle comes over the left knee. Hands come behind that left thigh. And start to pull that left thigh towards your body. The right knee should be pressing away from your head, towards your feet. You can even use your hand to press it open if you want to. Nice Supta figure 4. Release, foot to the ground, both feet to the ground. Switch, left foot comes over to the right knee. Bring them towards your body. Lock the hands behind. Open up that left hip with or without your hand. Bring it closer towards your body. And then release both feet back to the ground. Knees tucked towards your chest. Feet come up to the ceiling. And then take your hands either on the outside or the inside of your feet. Knees come towards your armpits. If this is challenging with both feet, try one foot at a time. Happy baby and Ananda Balasana. Take some rolls if you want. Side to side. Maybe squeeze one leg, one knee, just a little bit deeper into that armpit, one at a time. Bring the feet together, Baddha Konasana. And then hands come to the knees. Tuck yourself into a little ball. And then exhale. Let your legs come out. Let your back rest fully on the ground. If there are any last final poses, any movements you would like to make. If not, feel free to fall into your Shavasana. Close your eyes. Start bringing your attention inward, into your body. Scan from your toes to your ankles, to your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, the torso, belly, ribs, shoulders, chest, arms all the way down to the fingertips, your neck, your head. Coming to a final resting position. If you want to grab your blanket, you can take it over your full body. You can take it over just your hips. Find any last tension that you have in your muscles, in your joints. Release and relax. If you are controlling your breath in any way, let go of it as you fall into final Shavasana. I will leave you here for a couple of moments. the toes, the hands, the fingers, the wrists, shoulders, the hips, the knees. Bend the knees and bring the feet towards your bottom. Release your blanket if you place one over your body. Roll off to your favorite side, creating a pillow with that lower arm. And when you're ready, press into that top hand to an easy seated position. Hands come to your knees. Eyes can stay closed or they can be open. If you'd like to join me in bringing your hands to your heart center, I'll close this session in saying thank you for coming and choosing to practice with me. Thank yourself, most importantly, for giving yourself the time to explore something new or to try something new with a new instructor. I hope that you found today's class relaxing, opening, and informative. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Take that light and energy that is in you, that is in me, that is in all of us, and shine it out into the world.